Welcome back to DreamHack Winter 2018, where we are in the midst of the Swiss. We're about halfway through. We're in round 4. We're halfway through round 4. And Lorinda and I have one more series coming up for you. It's going to be Dawido versus Odemian.
Yeah, two of the players who a lot of you won't know much about because they haven't made an impact on the scene recently in HCT. Odemian started the year out incredibly strongly. He won Toronto, beating Huntrace in the final there. That was like when Huntrace lost a final or two. He was doing really well. I've done a ranking system for the first half of the season. He was 5th on that, which is, you know, fairly vague, but whatever. Then he went and sort of got married and had a life and stuff. Didn't play much Hearthstone until very recently. Yeah, so Odemian just gave it up and then just came straight back in. He's 3-0 again, where he left off.
And he's doing well so far in this series, currently sitting pretty at 2-0. One more win will take him through to 4-0. He's playing with his Hunter, which is so far undefeated.
Now, Dawido was somebody I was already aware of going into this year, but I really paid more attention after Nimsh told us, like, because obviously Nimsh from Poland, like, watch out for this guy in the Polish team, he's really good. He's since qualified for WSG, for the finals in China there, so he's gone through that massive qualifier, and he's done bits and pieces along the way as well, but that's kind of the turning point we were all expecting for Dawido. And so, again, he's also 3-0, that's how Swiss works. And so, sort of a battle of two very proficient players, but Dawido hasn't had that much screen time. He's had bits and pieces, but Odemian is very comfortable in front of the screen.
Well, if we can see a reverse sweep from Dawido now, he's going to get loads of screen time. Let's jump in to game number 3. It's the Even Warlock. Now, again, we're in this position, 2-0 from Odemian, which means Dawido's played his counterpick to the Hunter, lost with it. Then again, Even Warlock isn't the worst deck for this matchup.
Yeah, interesting. I wonder if he's queued... what was his Paladin? Dawido's Paladin. Just, can you bring that up?
Good question. Odd.
So he queued that into the... Yeah, he's lost that against Hunter, so yeah, that's pretty grim.
That's the counter.
That's what's gone wrong here, but this is still okay for him in some ways. Just not ideal, but now he's got to get through 3 decks with it. And actually, we're talking about the reverse sweep here.
Mali Druid.
It's not the worst situation to be in.
Mali Druid and Deadman's Warrior. Well, we've seen an Even Warlock annihilate a Deadman's Hand Warrior already once today.
He can get this done.
Yep. Settle down, everyone. This could be a long one.
Or it could be over in 1 egg, play dead, flanking strike nightmare for the Warlock. But yeah, it could well be a very long one.
That is true.
So Dawido not getting the Giant is a massive, massive deal here. Yeah, and the pause for the bottle of water is okay. Needed the Giant to make this easy. Now I've got to actually think about what I'm going to do in my Hearthstone turn.
So many possibilities.
And the main question here is, when do I use my coin?
Yeah, that's the thing, because coining on Twilight Drake seems like such a natural play here.
But then when you get to turn 7, you're suddenly out of coin when you really want one for turn 8, or for your 8 mana play. But yeah, this seems fine. Obviously, I agree, it's entirely natural. And because he thought for so long, Odemian does have to consider, if I Spider Bomb play dead, am I going to get a Giant in the mush? Doesn't consider it for very long because the use of the coin would sort of imply that the Giant wasn't there.
Well, it's fine. If a Giant gets played, Spider Bomb just trades into it and kills that as well. Spider Bomb is so good at just shutting down the opponent, saying, nope, whatever big thing you wanted to play next turn, you're not playing that.
You're really not. And also, in the meantime, I'm going to be flanking striking my own egg if I feel like it. And hitting you really hard. And by the way, if you get through all that lot, I've got Rexar. I'm going to hit you with some other stuff. Which one says that?
I don't know.
Oh, is it Raid Leader, actually?
Maybe. No.
If I know a voice line and you don't, it's going to be a miracle forever.
No, I don't think
it's not that.
I don't think it's Raid Leader.
I'll find out later. I'll probably find out as soon as I finish this because people keep messaging me with what words mean, which is good of them. I appreciate that.
Maybe it is Raid Leader. Okay, Twitch chat. Who says, hit it very hard? Can you just let us know somehow? Probably not in Twitch chat. We're obviously not reading it.
At Falcone_HS? Is there no underscore?
Without the underscore.
Okay, just at Falcone HS. Or you're messaging some random guy. a different random
Or
guy.
Lorinda with a 0? Or
Lorinda Games.
Lorinda Games, of course. With a 0,
Meanwhile,
or-
no, it's not. Okay, my branding is terrible. I brand how I speak, just badly. Well, Dawido. It would feel, if you're just going on the stats, if you only watch Hearthstone for the numbers, that Dawido's got the best of this, but all his things are going to be under a lot of pressure very soon. And Odemian's got such a versatile looking hand here. It's only 4 cards, but if you stay narrow, I'm going to kill your thing. If you don't stay narrow, I'm going to steal your thing, and then I'm going to blow your things up anyway.
A lot of different tools to play around.
Meanwhile, Dawido running into the problem of even decks. They don't have many problems, but this turn and next turn are fine, but what on earth do you do on turn 7? Just burns so much mana.
Just amazing to me that that Spider Bomb is still there, still alive and kicking. Because Dawido can't Hellfire it down, because then the egg breaks open and there's a 5/5 staring him in the face.
Yeah.
He's at the point where he just has to now, but he'd rather face down a 5/5 than a Spider Bomb.
Yeah. But the problem isn't necessarily the 5/5, it's all the stuff that gets added afterwards. Oh my goodness, that would have been absurd. So this looks like a natural Rexar turn now.
Still could be absurd soon after a Katharina. If a cube gets drawn at some point, then Odemian could do some pretty disgusting things. Dawido needs to take this one back somehow soon.
And ever since turn 3, because Dawido didn't have the option of a giant, he really has not been able to develop his hand. This is the sort of hand, this is the sort of matchup where you want to empty your hand as quickly as possible. Just get the value out of your mana and fight back. But instead it's all sort of clogging up in this congealed mess. A bit like my cooking.
I'm glad I've never had to
So many
Taste test.
possibilities.
Yeah, it's fine, but the first bite is with the eye. And my eye doesn't bite that well at all.
Almost out of time.
Okay.
I like skulking Geist here because if Odemian does get the value trade, like, you know, draws a
Yeah.
Battle Shot or something, then
Well, he's not, yeah.
the Dread Infernal does clean up the Devil Sword.
Ooh, Rhino Man.
Can he get stealth with it though? That's the question.
Yes, he can. He can also get charged with it. He can charge and then charge again.
He can charge with the Tundra Rhino. Amazing.
Sounds like British Rail. So anyway, he's going to
They charge and just don't take you anywhere.
clear up and create a board.
So now, again, like I was saying, the Dread Infernal, the 5/5 was able to make a value trade there, and Dread Infernal will be able to clear it up. It does sort of solve Dawido's issue of it being turn 7 and him not really having much good to do. But that Zombeast is going to do some disgusting things.
Yeah, it's just so hard to move. Just sits there and lets all your other beasts go in. And we always, we don't forget, but obviously Rush being the new charge, you forget just how ridiculous charge is.
Yep.
It was nerfed to Rush technically for a reason.
Yeah.
And okay, so Odemian may have a bad turn here, but setting up this Zombeast will just mean that all of his future turns are absurd.
I mean,
or he might just go in.
He might just Katharina this time.
Yeah, that's the other option. But if he Katharina's next turn, he can do so much work. He just thinks this is enough.
His Hunter deck is text with High Mains
Okay.
and King Crushers and Wishwood Grizzlies. Kind of like the old school version, the more standard long-term version of this deck. But he's just saying, I don't need this Tundra Rhino. Dawido, how do you clear this?
Sure.
And the answer is with great difficulty.
Yeah, there's the Giant. It's rather late. Can he get enough in the way with a Sun Fury? Protector is his next question. I mean, yes, but no yes.
Possibilities.
Yes, but no yes.
Yeah. It's like, yes, he can, but no, and yes, he'll need to do it again. And this power is just too overwhelming for the Warlock.
I wonder.
And yeah, Dawido trying to find any way to sensibly stay alive.
It's just not easy. Silence that, player hook for Eva.
I mean, sure, those are things that he can do.
A silence would almost just end Dawido right now.
So
Now a silence, if he makes the trade into the wolf, then the silence would end it. Not quite.
it's so close all around here.
It's so close.
This is why I was thinking maybe he could play the zombies last turn, because all these trades would have extra charges. How big is the Rhino? Can you remember? I couldn't...
It's a Panther and a Chandra Rhino, so
it's
it's 6 attack and 7 health, yeah.
So he can... That's lethal, right? You play the Rhino, you put the...
It's lethal, yeah.
High main
you're
into
right.
the 7/7, then one of the 2/2s in,
Yep.
and then everything else goes face.
You're right, that was lethal. That was exact lethal, actually, 11 damage. Good job, Lorinda. You got there, and Odemian didn't.
Interesting. Makes me wonder what's going on.
Well, it can be difficult to think about it all, though, right?
Sure.
Because he'd have to be thinking both that the Tundra Rhino can attack himself and that the hyenas that come out of the death rattle of the Savannah High Main can also attack in. And especially with the existence of Rush now, it's sort of less apparent what can do what. Well, not less apparent,
Yeah.
but trickier to sort of calculate everything.
And he had other choices, like he must have been looking at things like, can I flanking strike my spider bomb? No,
Right.
it's only a 50-50 and all that sort of stuff in his head.
And at the end of the
And
day...
it doesn't matter much.
At the end of the day, this is still a fantastic play.
That's the key. It doesn't matter much. You're going to kill him next turn.
That said, Spellstone plus Defile does clear the board now for Dawido.
Ooh.
So many possibilities.
And he's trying to work out how he can win. We say this a lot, but it's not how do I stay alive. Dan's already called it. You Spellstone Defile. But does that help in the world where your opponent just plays more stuff next turn?
Good question.
That's why he's taking so long to think about it.
Still going to be the play, though.
Yeah, he's found nothing better, so that's why he's going with this.
Stick up a Sun Fury Protector just for the sake of having a 2/3 body on the board. Odemian. 2 off lethal. It's not possible to discover a 0-mana beast, is it?
No. I want to see him just put this Rhino on the board and leave it there.
If you could just discover Snowflipper Penguin, then great, but you have to mash it up with something.
Because next turn you've got the cubes, the terror scale, and anything you can get down, and everything has charge, and oof. I'd like to see him just put it on the board and say, I'm killing you next turn with this menagerie of things.
I agree. He can Spider Bomb. He can even Spider Bomb Flanking Strike, his own Spider Bomb, and then play the Wolf, and then hit that into something, and hit with the Zombies next turn.
Yeah, he can hit
The
with
Rhino.
2 of them if he cubes it, and terror scales, and there's so much going on.
If he develops the Rhino this turn, he could even, if he Flanking Strikes the Spider Bomb, he can then attack face with the Wolf that the Flanking Strike makes. So there's so much ridiculous.
Do whatever he likes.
Yeah.
And don't attack is my play here.
Yes, agree. There's nothing that kills this.
Yeah, just leave it here. You're not playing its cube block.
There's no
I hope.
There's no Twisting Nether. There's nothing in here that kills this.
And again, Odemian, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure he's played this deck a lot because it's been around forever, but he has had quite a bit of time out of Hearthstone to live real life and stuff, so maybe some of this stuff isn't quite as natural to him as it would have been a few months ago.
I mean, again, he did miss a lethal this game. It didn't matter too much. Maybe it almost did.
It is. It's one of those where it didn't just kill him next turn, though. He's now had to sort of squiggle around trying to get out of trouble.
And it was a, I would argue it was a complicated interaction lethal.
Yes, so would I. Obviously, it was very hard.
Now. So is there something, he can cube Terra Scale this, right? He can put it into the Twilight Drake, cube it, Terra Scale it. And even play the Direwolf Alpha after that. So there should easily be the damage here, one way or another, to clear this board up.
It's the interaction with the cubes and the
It's
Terrascale's making this messy.
definitely complicated. And it's the fact that the cubes and the Terrascales themselves can't attack. They don't, They're not beasts, they don't have charge.
Nothing worse than this feeling of, I know I've got a great turn, and suddenly you realise you wasted half of your time and you haven't made any progress because you've looked at all the things that don't work.
Yeah. Because it's like, we don't have long to look at this hand. He doesn't have long to look at this hand.
And he wasn't expecting this turn necessarily either. It's like, why has Dawido got all this stuff if he hasn't played it all game?
We're thinking there's probably a lethal here somewhere, but where precisely is it?
Yeah, I don't think there was. There may have been. Saying I don't think there was is usually a bad thing to do.
I think there was definitely a way to get there with cubes, or at least with the hero power, at the very least. Like, there should have been a beast or two that gets him there. Either way, he's dispatched that tricky board. And it's one of those situations, again, where it's like, I don't matter. Why take the risk and try and go for a lethal that I wasn't sure was there last turn, when I can hopefully win the game guaranteed this turn?
The mind of the control player.
That was a good lethal puzzle, though, I think. If we had longer to look at that.
We have all evening.
I wonder.
I think every turn Dawido throws down more and more desperate measures, and every turn it gets dealt with. And the problem isn't going away. I think he's played really well this game, by the way, Dawido. I think we've talked about Odemian's side because he's been the one doing the attacking, but he just hasn't had anything he can do, and he's managed to sort of get to this far. It's just he hasn't drawn a Gul'dan or anything of use in that time.
We're really seeing here just the disgusting power of stealth when used like this. When merged with two minions together, when used in a way that stealth is, I guess, not supposed to be used.
Loads of stealth in the next set.
There is. This just has to be lethal, especially without Master Shore as well. Yeah, with the Ziliax, the 7 goes face, the Direwolf goes face. That is going to be it. Odemian ending this series with a 3-0 sweep. Didn't even have to play his Dead Man's Hand warrior.
Yeah, trying to end the year in the same way that he started the year. So 4-0 here at DreamHack. Yeah, can he back up the Toronto win with another one here in DreamHack?
That was certainly a great performance, though. I'm looking forward to seeing what else Odemian can come up with. He is a truly great Hearthstone player.
Yeah, I mean, he was a player that all the way through last year was doing well. Again, the very first half of this year was doing absolutely fantastically. Took that break, he's back, and he just looks a little bit rusty, but basically as good as ever. He's 4-0 here again, and the fields are getting more and more stacked at these events.
Yeah,
so
it's hard to argue with that, especially when you're at the point of the year now where the players know what they're competing for. They're competing for these master points so that they can get good stuff for next year. And that means really you've only got the very best of the best still in with a shot to get where they want to get. And they want to get those points. They want to get invited to these big tournaments
They
next
really
year.
do. Those extensions, I know Casey was saying, I think he's 12 points away from 175. And 175 is the number that nearly everyone is talking about, because that's Masters 2, which gets you pretty much everything you want.
Right.
You know, it doesn't get you as good as Hunter Ace, but it gets you all the things you could ever wish for in an extended season.
And hey, Hunter Ace is here too. Hunter Ace is just here because he's the best player in the world and he's just here to prove it.
Yeah, if I was the best player in the world, I would go to every event and just walk around and go, hey, I'm here. here I am, everyone. Best player in the world.
That's kind of what Pavel did.
It kind of is, and then he won those things as well.
Well, I believe that is us finished for round 4 of the Swiss. That was the last series, so we're going to go ahead, draw up the new pairings, find out who's playing against each other next, and we'll be back with round 5 of DreamHack Winter very soon.